What's going on, everyone? It's time to do another family film. Today we're going to be talking about a family adventure drama called Two Brothers. It was released by Universal April 7th, 2004, and it was written by Alan Goddard and co-written, produced, and directed by John Jacques Ananau, who's also done films like The Name of the Rose, La Amante, The Bear, and Quest for Fire, to name a few. Set a box office earnings of $62.2 million, but is considered a flop upon its release. It made like a small amount of money, like 10 million or something like that. But yeah, so Two Brothers is basically the story of two Bengal tigers who growing up together, and some poachers come and kill their parents, and the evil poacher guy takes them and sells them on the market. This takes place in like 1920 or something like that. And one of them goes to a circus and the other one goes to a royal family. And you follow them growing up and each one of their journey of these tigers. One growing up in a rich family household, being a nuisance to them. And then one growing up on circus life. And it gets to be pretty odd, to say the least. This film is, and then they also meet at the end, and you can see them going, well, you can tell they're brothers and stuff like that. You can see the emotion and stuff. Now, for the most part, this film was shot. It felt like a documentary I was watching, to be honest. It's rare for me to say this about a film, but I think most shots were a little overlit. Like the cinematography was fine. It's just the way the lighting was, you could tell, like, this is a set, or this is in the natural environment. Like, they shot in, like, some Cambodian ruins, which these tigers probably wouldn't even be there because it's preserved and stuff, and people are always around. But yeah, there's some really good documentary style shots of the tigers playing around with their mom and dad and stuff. And then it's very, also, a lot of people boycott this film a lot for like showing poachers and buying and selling exotic animals and things like that. PETA, I think, wasn't too happy with it either. But yeah, so, and they basically had a tiger wrangler, which was basically like Tiger King, apparently. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, so but most of the shots I thought were overlit. It's rare for me to say that, but the way, just how it looked, you could tell it's like, it felt like a documentary. It felt like you're there, but then they'll cut to a scene of them running through the ruins. You're like, there's no way that's like actually there. But yeah, and yeah. Also, same with when they're like doing some like the early circus scenes in this, or the showmanship scenes, I guess you could say. They do it in some like really, really iconic landmark locations, and yeah, but you can tell it's just a set, and it's not immersive enough. You can tell you're watching a film of it. It's not like you're sitting there and you actually feel like you're there. Like, at least in like Harry Potter and stuff, you feel like you're actually at Hogwarts with them. You get that like look, and nothing's like overexposed light or anything. And I think that's one of the flaws of this film. Also, another one is half the acting is such overacting. This makes it unrealistic, and yeah, just the way some of the actors portrayed the characters and stuff. It wasn't like realistic. It might have been like somewhat moderate for that time period, but then you overact with it and it takes people out of it. And for this type of film, you kind of have to be immersed in the story, or else you're just going to get bored, like I did. And yeah, and that brings me to the third point of this, and that's it was just not an eventful story. To it started off pretty strong, like the poacher, and you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen to them? And then you get to like one of them's with the royal family, and you watch that for a while. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, they're having fun with it, and then people don't know what they're doing with them. And then you have the circus scenes, which I thought were going to be a little more elaborate, but it just seemed dulled down. Didn't feel like a high budget film. It felt like a indie movie, um, be like a low budget independent film that was just shoved into theaters, hoping for the best. Because this is also released when Disney Nature first started putting out films into theaters, like documentaries on wolves and things like that, and March of the Penguins and things like that were getting big recognition in like National Geographic films. So this one was to probably compete with that, but the kind of you could tell it wasn't fully thought out. The story is super slow and boring, which is the worst thing a film can do. And but yeah, it has some good scenes, but most of the time I was just out of it. I'm not interested in this. Maybe it just wasn't for me though. I know people that love this. For me, it's not my type of movie. It was cool watching tigers and stuff, but now thinking back on it, there's not very many of them left because of people like the Tiger King and stuff killing them off and everything, and poachers and things. So it's a little hard to take in now, but still, it means well, but it's not the best unless you're a diehard animal lover. You might have a little hard time sitting through this. So uh, I'm I'm not a huge fan of Two Brothers. I thought it was just pretty slow, overletting a lot of overacting to take in. But usually, if a film has like one of those three, it's acceptable. But when you have those three and it's a high budget film, it's a pretty big pill to swallow, basically. But yeah, so I'm gonna give Two Brothers a 2 out of 5 because it does have some good exotic looking scenes in it. The cinematography is pretty good. The music's pretty fun and engaging, and it's overall they tried. It just needs a little bit of tuning, and it would have been really good. But for what we got for this, wasn't really worth it. So, yeah, there's a trailer to it for this link down below if you want to see what I'm talking about. If it sounds like something you're interested in, you can check that out down below. Also, link down there is my Instagram where I always post clips of films and review the feature on my stories. I have the film title hashtag and the subgenre film and hashtag so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox is down there at Derek P Reviews, and that's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films. So follow me on one of those two to stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Did you absolutely love this film? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So, yeah, put some comments down there and let me know what you thought of it. Also, if you have any films that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, I'll watch any genre of film and whatnot. Yeah, comment them down below. Try my best to get them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Yeah, and well, too bad Two Brothers, a little disappointment, but after mentioning like Harry Potter and stuff, I think I might start diving into that big franchise, but we'll see. I think I'm gonna do Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone for you Americans, and yeah, we'll see what I think of that because I haven't really watched them since they came out. So yeah, I think that'll be the next review. But so make sure you subscribe, and yeah, watch out for all those crazy poachers taking out all those tigers because we need to keep those numbers growing. Same with rhinos. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all in the next review, which will probably be Harry Potter. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I guess I'll see you then. So till the next one, cheers.